God damn it, boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of Honda Street Garage. Yo! I'm your host, Mark, and we're going to be continuing working on the K20, A2, EG, EJ1 swap, whatever you want to call it. I did some work yesterday and did not film as much as I should have. Really hardly much at all. I really haven't done that much in terms of the whole swap. Once I get everything taken care of, I'm gonna go over everything with a fine-tooth comb and explaining how I did it. So part of the reason why I didn't film a whole lot yesterday was because most of what I'm doing is kind of test fitting and making sure that I get everything the way it needs to be, just right, because I'm taking my time with this. Just want it to, look good and be presentable and function correctly. That's the main thing. I'm definitely gonna go over everything today, but I kind of ran into an issue, so I'm about to go take a little road trip and solve that issue. The things that I do have completed on the engine swap as it is at the moment is I have the throttle cable installed. I believe it's the RSX throttle cable. It's pretty long. See, it just goes to the factory location. I have the wiring harness hooked up, and then the plug cover on here. I ran the clutch line all the way to back there. I still need to put the reservoir on. I'm still working out all of the coolant hoses. So as you can tell, I've got one coolant hose ran, and so I need to connect the other one. Part of what is going on with that is I have to connect the water neck adjuster. So it's just been kind of a challenge to make sure that this is hooked up in a way that everything's still gonna function properly. Now the fuel lines, what's really great is I got a fuel line tuck kit from Jbtuned, which I'm super excited about. We're gonna be putting that on today. He sent me a bunch of stuff and I'll go over all that later. We still need to cut this line. So yeah, you can tell I got a basic huge mess going on right now, and that's just because I'm trying to take my time with everything. So I am gonna be cutting the lines today and doing the fuel lines. You'll need this little pipe cutter tool here, line cutter. Now the reason why I have to take a trip and the reason why I'm kind of in a standstill or just a stopping point, because I want to take care of the fuel lines before I really do anything else. The radiator lines are pretty much taken care of. I just need to get worm drives to just button all that stuff up, and setting the radiator isn't that big of a deal. Now I have this fuel pressure regulator here, which I particularly do not trust. It looks like an eBay cheap fuel pressure regulator. As most of you know out there, if you go with a cheap fuel pressure regulator, especially on the K-swap, you can really risk a lot of damage. Where I'm located is not very close to any say speed shops. There is a speed shop called HPT Automotive about an hour away. So I'm gonna go head to Arden, North Carolina so that I can get a fuel pressure regulator, because HPT is a licensed dealer for K20 parts. So yeah, let's get on the road, really. I mean, one of the reasons why I'm not just senselessly uploading videos is because I want to have something to show you guys. I want this to be a linear series of videos of the K-swap. I don't want to just upload anything. Doesn't seem very exciting, but it's just buttoning up all the little stuff at this point. So enough blabbing, let's hit the road. Okay, so I came to HPT Autosport, and they've got some cool cars. They sell B20s, and they have, they deal K20 parts, Vibrant, a bunch of other stuff. Put a link in the description and a phone number you can call if you need parts. So I just got back from HPT Autosport, and they hooked me up with some K20 parts that I needed to hook up my Jbtuned.com fuel line tech kit. I basically needed to get a fuel pressure regulator. Went ahead and picked up a K20 fuel rail as well. Link in the description, as well as the fuel cut kit for Jbtuned will be a link in the description. So today we are trying to tackle the fuel line setup. So we're going to try to take you along and show you each step of this way. So this kit will be focusing on the fuel lines, and the fuel pressure regulator will be mounting to the shock tower here for the fuel pressure regulator to run to the fuel rail. We need to switch out the fuel rail to the K20 fuel rail. We're also going to cut the feed line, and then the return line has already had the hose taken off of it. We don't need to cut that. He provides a hose for the fuel return. It basically has a little tightener here so that you can fit over, tighten that down, and then it should run to the fuel pressure regulator here. So first I'm going to disconnect the injectors. So we get to unbox the K20 fuel rail here. A very nice rail setup. Now this setup actually allows to mount the pressure gauge in the center, and you've got the little brackets here to mount all this stuff up together. I'm gonna go ahead and knock some of this stuff out, and then I'll show you how it all goes together. Now, one of the things that K20 gives you is these nice looking Allen bolts here, but we need to take these studs out. The way to do that is to thread one nut upside down. Then we're gonna put the other one on top. Tighten them against each other. Now, we should be able to just wrench the stud out. It's just that easy. Okay, so here's the fuel rail with the pressure gauge on it. It's got this proprietary little hookup. They do different things with the center feed, and there's different ways that you can actually mount this up. So it should just sit right on there. Now, if you're familiar with K-Series at all, you'll notice that there is a piece missing here, and that is because there's a little fitting that you can get from K20 that actually fits right in here, and you can actually block it off. They have pieces that will basically block this piece off, but we are not blocking it off. Because this is a Civic, our temperature gauge is not going to work like normal, so we need to be able to read the temperature properly. So in this spot, we can put this little temperature sensor here, and it fits in. Threads right into that. And the best part is that Chase Bays already has the provision for it, so we can hook it right up. Next piece that we have in our box here is the fuel pressure regulator itself. This is the fuel pressure regulator itself. There's a couple different ways you can run it. You can actually mount it to the side here if you wanted to, or even on this side. But we're not going to do that right now. We are going to mount it on the shock tower over here, because that's how our lines are all ran. And we may actually mount it on the fuel rail later. Okay, hopefully the camera will focus. So we need to cut this line. So you use this little tool, tighten it up, and you just go around. You go around a couple times. When you feel it get a little loose, tighten it up a little again. And boom. You can see here I've already got the fuel pressure regulator mounted. Okay, so here, the fuel filter fitting, what we need to do is we need to put this fitting on first. You can see this, but you take this out. This has a little brass spacer there, kind of makes everything go together. So what we're gonna do is put this on. Yes, so I need to shave this down some more because there's too much rubber. Okay, so we have the fitting on the fuel line here. And we're gonna put this little brass fitting on the inside. Then we're gonna take our other fitting that goes in there. And what this is gonna do, that's gonna secure the line. Okay, so I have the fuel lines finally run the way that they are. Normally the fuel filter is actually supposed to go here, but because of the throttle cable bracket, we're locating it down there. So the Jbtuned hoses plug in here, loops around, goes into the fuel pressure regulator, out of the fuel pressure regulator to the return, and then the sending line into the filter, wrap the line around into the line here. Now normally it's actually supposed to be the filter here, then the line runs down. However, with the stock throttle body, it doesn't really fit. Generally, it's just ideal to have the filter as close to the injectors as possible, but everything should run fine. Now I just need to get injectors because my injectors are broken. So anyway, guys, this is where we're gonna end the video. I'm gonna try to wrap everything up, hopefully within the next week or so, if we can really get everything dialed in, which we should be able to. As long as we get some injectors here quick. Anyway, other than that, if you like this video, click like. If you haven't already, click subscribe. Big thanks to Jbtuned. Go to jbtuned.com and check out all of his stuff. He's got fuel line tuck kits, clutch line, brake lines, a bunch of really good stuff. Also, thanks to HPT Autosport in our North Carolina. There's links in the description to everything. Thank you guys so much. And if you want to keep up with me, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. See you guys in the next video. Peace out and keep on living your dreams.